Hello everyone, hope everyone's having a good day. Just thought I'd do a video for you instead of standing up in front of you and trying to explain all this. There's a lot of steps to what we're going to do today, so I'm hoping that you can watch this video and then stop it and continue working as you understand the different steps for this process. So first thing you're going to need open is your WISC career site, so if you'd go there please. I'm already logged in and so I'm just going to click on WISC career and go to my home screen. What you're going to need to do today is you will need to find 3 occupations or careers that you are most interested in and find what they call the entry-level salary as well as what they call the experience salary, and I'll show you what they mean by that. So I'm going to go to assessment, which is where you would want to go. If you found some that they recommended for you, remember you can go to your personal globe inventory and then click on full report. Remember this first one is just a shorter version of it, so click on full report so that when you slide down on your page you have the ones that they're recommended for you. What we're going to be doing then is we're going to be taking the information from the salary and putting them into a spreadsheet. We're going to use Excel for that. We'll do that in a minute. One of them that I visited that comes up a little unusual is an anesthesiologist. Wanted to point that out because this is kind of irregular. It doesn't happen like this very often. But if you go to the salary, hopefully you've had a chance to look over the write-up to see what it's like. But if you go to salary, you'll notice something very unusual, and that is they're saying that the entry salary is more than what the experience salary is, and that isn't typical. It's kind of an anomaly, and so when they put it in, they must have not looked at both figures when they put it in. So you probably wouldn't make more money your first year of teaching, first year of your job, for me it was teaching, than you would with an experienced or being an experienced person. So what we're going to do for this one is we're going to flip-flop it. So if you happen to have one where an experienced salary amount is higher than the entry, we'll flip-flop those amounts. So what you're going to do is I would like you to take a screenshot. Remember, a screenshot is a Command Shift, you hold those down, and the number 4, and that takes your cursor and changes it into a crosshair. What you should probably do is click and drag and highlight above the name of your career and all the way down to below the experience level, and then let go. That's going to go on your desktop, remember. I've already done that, so you'll see that appear when I switch over. Now what I want you to do, actually you can do that for all 3, and if you happen to choose a career that isn't in WISC careers, remember there's other ways you can find careers. You could simply click on occupations. I did this for a different one, and either go to browse occupations by their name, or I'm going to go back and say browse by career cluster. In that case, then there's a lot to choose from, and these are just general. There are 16 of them, and so if you're into education and training, you can click on that. Take a look at the pathways and clusters, teaching and training pathway, and then once you get a little bit narrowed down, then you can go into related occupations. Notice there's quite a few here. I know a few of my classes, people have talked about wanting to be dance teachers or in the arts, art-related fields. So there's a lot to choose from. And again, keep in mind the hot topics or careers are ones that are expected to increase in need in the next 10 years. So there are other ways of taking a look at the salaries for your careers that you're investigating. I'm going to go back now. I'm going to open up Excel. Now I've started one. Excel is a green X that should be in your doc. If it's not, remember you'll want to go to your Finder, which is right here, and you'll want to click on that and go to Applications, and you're not going to find it under either E or X for Excel. You're going to find it under Microsoft Office, and it's one of the Microsoft Office applications. They call it a suite of applications when they have more than a couple put together. So once you find Excel, go ahead and click on it and open it up. Now it's going to open up and it's just going to be a bunch of boxes. If you've never used, or if you haven't used spreadsheets very much in the past, that looks a little intimidating, looks kind of boring, but what we're going to do is go ahead and put in these things on row 1. Write the word career, and then entry salary, and then experience salary, and you're going to notice that it kind of sneaks behind. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to deal with that later, but that's okay. Notice I spelled the word experience wrong, and in case you happen to be like me and not be the best speller, there's a way of checking that. We'll do that in a minute. But go ahead and put these headings in row 1. So career, entry salary, experience salary, average salary, tax rate of 23%, and take-home salary. Now, here's what we're going to do to fix this so that these don't run over each other. And remember that a spreadsheet works very differently than a word processing page would and anything else. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to go up to File, and we're going to turn our page. So we're going to say Page Setup. There's probably more than one way of doing this. And then we're going to change it and say that we want it landscape. Remember, that's a very important word to know, that we want to do it landscape. Now you'll see that we've kind of freed up some space, but we still can't see anything or everything. So what we can do is we can manually go up to between letters C and D and slide it over until we see all those letters of the words that make up the heading. And so we'll just keep sliding it over, 23%, and now take-home salary at the end, and we'll go even a little bit farther so that that pops right off. So we have our 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different columns. We call these columns. Okay. Now, so my careers will go here. Now, what I would do if I were you, I'm going to do this by going to my Finder. I'm going to go to my Finder. I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to click on the 3 careers that I've taken screenshots of, and I'm going to double click, and they're all going to open up at once. Here they come. 1, 2, 3. They're all in a row, and they're using preview. So notice I have the title here. It works out kind of cool. I'm going to hide my Finder window. Then I'm going to go back. I'm simply going to, I have to slide it over. So my 3 careers are computer programmer. Now it's going to go away as soon as I click on this, so that's okay. Go back in here and type in career computer programmer. Here I go. And then hit a return. When you hit a return, it will go down. Go back here. My second one is an anesthesiologist. That's a tough one to spell. I'm just going to do the best I can. Anesthesiologist. I know that's not right, but I'm going to use the spell checker in a minute and correct it. And the last one is a webmaster. I can see it's kind of small, but now I can see it. Webmaster. So I'll add that as my 3rd career. Webmaster. Okay. Now I mentioned spell checking a couple times, so let's go back and clean that up. So what I'm going to do is go to Format. Sometimes it's under Edit, but this time it's going to be under Format. And you'll see, oh, take that back, it's under Tools, Spelling. And you'll notice it says it did not find any spelling errors in the cell text. Well, it's because I spelled that one right, because I just had that one highlighted. So I'm going to go back and do that again. I'm going to click out of any cell that has writing. So now I'm going to try it again, Tools and Spelling, and see what happens. See, I spelled it close enough for it to recognize, and so let's see, anesthesiologist, or just with an S on. I just want that one. So should I change it to that? Yes. So just say change. Do you want to continue checking at the beginning of the sheet? I'm going to say yes. And again, remember I said I spelled experienced wrong, and this is how you spell it, so we say change to that one as well. And the spell check is complete. So I don't want to say obviously don't make spelling errors on purpose, but if you happen to make a spelling error, that is a way of checking it. Notice the word programmer is kind of overlapping column A and column B. I'm going to slide this over, and I may have to go back and do some adjusting. Nope, everything's still on the same page now, so we should be good. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to my first picture, and for computer programmer I'm going to put down 5900, and I just type it right in, 5900, go right here, 50900. Do not put commas, and do not put the $sign. Okay, so that's important to note. Don't put commas or $signs, not yet. It's a fast way of putting it in. Experienced is 110 220. That's kind of easy to remember. So I go 110 220. Don't find average salary. Don't get out your calculator. We're going to let the spreadsheet do that. Going to go back and do anesthesiologist, and remember that one's an unusual one. They kind of reverse them. Don't put the plus sign in either, but we're going to say that the entry level is 166,400. Remember, that's kind of a weird one. 166,400, and it goes all the way up to 170,950. And remember, we have to flip-flop it, so just kind of bear with us. 170. Oh, now I forgot. Is it 550? 170, 950. So you can see how I work back and forth between them. $9.50. Okay, and again, no commas, no dollar signs, and a webmaster. Click back here. Webmasters make $33,760, and all the way up to $92,850. $92,850. Okay. Now the cool thing about spreadsheets, hit a return. The cool thing about spreadsheets is, first of all, they can be very particular. You have to make sure that you're clicking right in the center. Otherwise, you might be doing something different than what you really are intending to do. So make sure that when you're clicking, you click in the dead center of the cell. Here's what you can do with a spreadsheet. We're going to use this auto sum. Except we don't want to find the sum. If you click on the arrow next to it, it'll give you other choices, and we want to find the average. And it'll probably say, because it's done this before, and it knows that we probably want to find the average next to it. So we're going to say, just hit return on that, and sure enough, that's the average, 80,560. Now, the other cool part about a spreadsheet is something called an autofill. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a blue square in the lower right-hand corner of that cell. And this is called autofill. And what it does is whatever it does for when you have an equation in there, it carries that out. And so now you'll see that the average is carried out for the anesthesiologist as well as the webmaster. Now, tax rate, this is a little bit different. We are going to actually put that in. Every equation starts with an equal sign. That makes sense. Equal sign for an equation. So it's just kind of something that you put in when you're using a spreadsheet. Equal, you put a parenthesis, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take whatever is in this cell, because that could change. We're going to find our asterisk, which is above the 8, so hold your shift key down, and then put 0.23. That stands for 23%. Oops, I accidentally hit 2 keys. And now I'm going to hit a return. Again, you have to hit the return, and you can't click out anywhere else. Just hit a return. It's going to carry it out. And again, there's a decimal here. We're going to take care of that in a minute. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to do that same autofill. So I'm going to pull down and do autofill. Let's go back at this point, before we find our take-home salary, let's go back and make all of these numbers look like they're dollars. And here's what you do. You click in the dead center of cell B2. I'm going to go back and do that. In fact, I'm going to go all the way to F4. That cell right there is F4 because it's in the column F, and it goes over to the row 4, if you can see that. So I want to include these empty cells as well. And then what we want to do is we want to format it. And so we're going to go to our toolbox, and we are going to say, because it's highlighted in blue, except that first one isn't, but it really is. It's in the big blue frame, so don't let that throw you off. It's still highlighted. We're going to come over here, and we're going to say that we want the number to be currency. Okay, so notice that now it all turns into dollars, and the commas go in. But you'll notice that there's change. We don't need the change. We're going to get rid of that, and you'll notice that this symbol right here moves the decimal to the right, and so we drop one decimal place and drop another decimal place, and now we're done. Now we've rounded it off to the nearest dollar, and that's good enough for this. The last thing we have to do is we have to do another equation to find the take-home salary. And so we are going to hit the equal sign. We're going to put a parenthesis in, and we're simply going to take whatever is in this cell. So we're going to click on D2 and hit a minus sign, and then click on E2. Don't forget the second parentheses, otherwise it's going to give you a warning, and it's going to say, do you really want to do that? And now we hit return. And again, it goes right into the dollar sign with a comma, because we formatted those cells already and said we want it to be like that. And now you can do that autofill, and you can see if you want to be a computer programmer, your average salary is going to be $62,031, and that is after taxes. And that's why we're going to talk about that in class. But that 23% means that that's how much you would pay in taxes if you sign a contract for $80,000 per year. Anesthesiologists make good money. They have a lot of responsibility, and so their take-home salary is $129,000, or just under $130,000. But because it's a percentage, those people will pay more taxes as well. So your tax is based on how much you earn. So it's not just a flat tax. The tax is based on how much your average salary is. And so you'll notice that the webmaster makes, according to these figures, will make the least amount. Okay, that's probably important to know to be able to differentiate between what your careers are actually making. We're going to stop for now before we make the graphs, but this is a good stopping point, so I'm going to stop and let people catch up.